On the way, we're also declaring your Friday a First Alert weather day for a hard freeze and single-digit wind chills. We're on your side with what you can do to prepare your home and how you can stay warm.
And a winter wonderland taking place across parts of the state earlier today, mainly North Alabama. But we're going to check in on some of those views and recap how much snow actually fell.
Plus, we're headed to the classroom where one school received an out-of-this-world ranking as a part of one of the world's biggest science competitions.
Live on your side, First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
But first, check out some of the scenes sent in by you from today's snow day. It happened to the north. Certainly, we saw some flurries to up to 2 inches for parts of Alabama. We had another chance for a winter wonderland, and meteorologist Matt Daniel even getting out in the snow. Look at Matt out there.
Wow.
Braving the elements, and Matt did a great job. He was able to find the snow. That's a way to get out there, Matt, and track the snow down. That was in Hamilton earlier, so if you slept through it, it did happen. It didn't last long, but we did have some winter weather across parts of our area.
Hey, he looked like he was enjoying it.
Yeah, well, Matt did a great job.
I heard he was cold. That's what I heard. I was like, how you doing? It's like cold and tired, but having a good time.
Listen, it is ice cold right now.
Oh my gosh.
Right here we have that north wind facing the back of the studio.
Yeah.
I'll open the door and
It's no joke.
No joke.
No.
No joke. Be safe out there tonight. Be careful. We have extended that First Alert weather day into early on Friday. Let's take you to the next big thing, and that is the temperatures dropping well below freezing at the moment. We're actually at 31, so it is freezing in Birmingham. We're at 31 here on Red Mountain, and as we look ahead, we did carry over that alert day into Friday morning because we're still going to have some teens around early Friday, and this is some weather where you'll want to drip those faucets. I mean, we're going to see low teens as low as 10 degrees, I think, by Friday morning. Single-digit wind chills, a story tonight into early tomorrow. And the Weather Service has issued what they call cold weather advisories. It's a newer product, but the entire area, basically, it's going to be cold tonight. As you can see, 27 at Coleman. Areas to the south, not quite to freezing just yet, but that colder air is spilling in. We're getting another surge of that Arctic air, a little taste of that cold air, and with all the snow and ice on the ground across Tennessee, parts of far north Alabama, that's just going to add to that ice cold north feel that we're going to have early tomorrow morning. And you can see 22 degrees or 22 mile per hour wind speed in Birmingham right now, so wind chill's already a factor, and it looks like tomorrow morning down into the single digits, as low as 2 degrees for some areas to the north, and 10 degrees around Centerville, 7 degrees around Ashland. What a winter season. And by the way, with that snow that did happen over northern areas early today, that's the 3rd time we've had measurable snow in our area, and about the 6th time we've seen snow, even flurries, falling this season across our coverage area. So what a season with respect to winter precipitation. Tomorrow morning, though, down into the teens to start the day for a lot of us, low 20s further south. Tomorrow during the day, it's going to be a struggle. There'll be a lot of clouds around early on, but I think for areas to the south especially, we may go just above freezing briefly later in the day with some of that added sunshine, but it won't last long. It's back below freezing, and again tomorrow night we'll have lows as low as 11, maybe even 10 degrees in some of the coldest spots to the north there early Friday morning. After that, we start to improve over the weekend. We'll be talking about a small chance for some few showers coming back later in the weekend. I'll have that and the 10-day forecast coming up. And want to use this code right now. You'll see this on your screen to download the First Alert Weather app. A big reminder here. You'll be able to get the latest information on not just this cold weather, those personalized alerts where you are, and this follows you wherever you go. So just scan that code on your screen, download our free First Alert Weather app. The way this weather's been changing around here, you'll want that weather app. But we'll keep you well informed. Again, I'll be back with a 10-day forecast.
Thanks, Wes. Well, let's check in and see how much snow fell for parts of the state, really. The greatest totals, of course, were across North Alabama. Central Alabama got a little hint of it, like in Marion County, where Matt Daniel was earlier this morning. On along I-22, maybe about half of an inch, close to an inch of snowfall accumulation. And then we'll see about half of an inch, or had seen about half of an inch in Winston County. But the greatest totals, again, for our northern counties, really north across the state, up up in the Huntsville area, about an inch of snowfall, and areas further north than that saw even more. So there were some areas that had a little winter wonderland today. But listen, we're all preparing for this, the dangerous wind chills. That also means there's a greater risk for frostbite and even hypothermia. This means it's important to start prepping and preparing now to ensure you and your pets are warm over the next few days. Your Shelby County reporter Ajane Robinson joins us now with the latest.
Temperatures are certainly going to be cold over the next couple of days, but my biggest concern right now is the wind chill. And we're not used to that, especially the kind of temperatures that we're going to be looking at over the next couple of days.
And because of that, the Shelby County Humane Society says when it comes to your pets, bring them inside.
So if it's too cold for you, it's too cold for the pets. And just because they have fur, that's not really enough for protection.
Now, other tips include limiting their time outside and using layers to help keep them warm and safe.
Pet jackets and pet hats, and there's little tiny shoes, and there's all kind of things. If people happen to have those, this is a great time to use them. But if they don't, just minimize the time outside for them to use the bathroom, and just get them back in as quickly as possible.
Now, you can also use these same tips when it comes to protecting yourself during these cold temperatures.
If you have to be out again, make sure that you cover your head. Make sure that you wear multiple layers, but also make sure that you wear gloves and extra socks.
EMA leaders say during this time, you should also check in on seniors or neighbors who live alone or might need help preparing for the cold temperatures.
Well, that same system that brought parts of our state snow also blanketing other states across the South with ice and some more snow. Check out this time-lapse video shared by our sister station WMC out of Memphis. It was shared around 3:30 this morning from the Tennessee Department of Transportation. As they drove along I-55, you can see portions of the road covered with snow while others were being cleared. Well, parts of North Carolina also seeing snow today. Check out this footage from our sister station WBTV out of Charlotte. They began seeing snow earlier this afternoon, and it will continue through Thursday morning with up to an inch possible across the area. The North Carolina Department of Transportation are already preparing the roads for any travel impacts that could occur.
Interstates are our primary concern to clear first because they carry the most volume. Connect to major centers, things like hospitals and schools and job centers. So we need to make sure emergency access is available too. I know some folks like to know when will their street be cleared, but we have to get through those other systems first before we can get to a neighborhood streets.
Crew members will be working 12-hour shifts until the weather has made it through. Well, in 30 seconds, we update you on tonight's hard freeze. Plus, if the thought of another Arctic blast makes you want to break out in hives, hey, your feelings may be scientifically justified. We have more after the break.
All right, time for weather every 6 minutes here on Weather Extra. And you can see right now we're seeing 31 degrees in Birmingham, so we are below freezing. And there are cold weather advisories in place all across the state of Alabama. Once we drop below freezing tonight, for most of us, I do think throughout the day tomorrow, we're going to stay below freezing. And then tomorrow night, it's down into the teens again. Now, we'll have some freezing temperatures this weekend during the morning hours, but we will start to see some improvements here. I want to show you what's on the way Saturday and Sunday. Making those weekend plans. Saturday looks like a dry day, but you'll see on Sunday there could be a couple of showers. I know we took the rain chance out yesterday, but now it looks like maybe a couple of passing showers Sunday night. I certainly wouldn't cancel any big plans you have for Sunday. Now, next week we will see a system that will bring higher rain chances, and we'll update you on that and a big warm-up coming up in the extended forecast.
Well, with spring still, unfortunately, a few weeks away, some of you may be itching for winter to end, and maybe even literally. New research suggests you can actually be allergic to the cold. There is a condition called cold-induced urticaria. I think I said that correctly. Anyway, when this happens, this is when someone who is exposed to lower temperatures breaks out into hives. Allergists say this condition can develop at any age, and there's no specific temperature that triggers it. If you think you have it, reach out to your doctor because there are medications that can actually help manage symptoms. Bundling up and limiting your exposure to cold can obviously help as much as possible. Well, we're headed into the classroom now where our junior weather watchers colored the weather. These are from the kindergarten classes at Bull Elementary School, and they're ready for spring. Teachers, remember, you can get these color the weather sheets and sign up for a weather visit on our website, www.weatherintheclassroom.com, where your students can get the chance to become junior weather watchers. And those were sent in from meteorologist Matt Daniels' visit there. So an out of this world accomplishment, still talking about education, for students at Bessemer Middle School who can now proclaim they're the best in the world after winning the Plant the Moon competition. Your Sarah Verser speaks with the champions as they talk about this amazing feat.
In the middle school division, the winner is Team 19427. Fantastic, ferocious moon planters, Bessemer, Alabama.
First place in a global competition involving 250 teams. These 16-year-olds at Bessemer Middle School are now the best in the world in the middle school division of the Institute of Competition Sciences Plant the Moon contest to figure out how to grow food on the moon.
So they were trying to figure out how or what they were trying to figure out a way to plant seeds on the moon, and the way they did that is they came up with using tea grounds and coffee grounds as fertilizers to add to lunar soil.
Math teacher Dr. Yuvraj Verma brought the idea to Farrah Curitan, the 6th grade science teacher.
This competition, incorporated both math and science, so that way students were not just learning the content in class, but they were also learning how to apply the information outside in the real world.
The hardest part for this competition for me is like at the beginning of the experiment when we was measuring the tea grounds and the coffee grounds to get them at the same measurements. Like that was kind of hard for me.
We started off with 40 milliliters, but then we stopped to 20 meters and stopped watering them every day.
And by the end of the challenge, they figured out that if we put the spinach seeds in the lunar soil by adding tea grounds, that's the way the spinach seeds will grow more.
I had confidence in my team, but I wasn't expecting us to get first place. Yeah, because it's one in a lifetime thing.
But what did you learn about your students?
That they can rise to the challenge. They can do anything that we give them.
You came up with the name of this group. What's the name of your group?
Fantastic, ferocious moon planters.
Well, still ahead, the science continues as we stick around and really take you beyond the atmosphere to learn about the northern lights and talk about when we can expect those temperatures to warm up. We're all waiting for that. We'll catch you right here after the break.
Well, time to check out a very cold forecast. We're falling below freezing in a lot of areas right now. Aliceville's at 33, so we're close to freezing. Birmingham at 31, Tuscaloosa at 35, 35 in Anniston. Once we drop below freezing tonight, especially along and north of I-20, we'll probably stay there through Friday morning. The wind chill is a big factor, and tomorrow morning it's going to be brutal out there. 9-degree feels-like temperature in Center, 7 around Alabaster to Chelsea and back to Birmingham over towards Bessemer, Tuscaloosa, maybe even parts of Tuscaloosa County there. Single-digit wind chills around Brookwood and Cottondale. You can see Talladega showing 8 degrees, Pell City and south to Clanton also flirting with single-digit wind chill temperatures early tomorrow morning. So really cold stuff. Now here's the wind speed directional forecast for tomorrow, and you can see that north wind doesn't let up. It's going to be out of the north to northwest at 10 to 15, some higher gusts. So that's a cold air that's just going to be spilling in across the state tomorrow and continuing to flow in. Now the wind will settle tomorrow night, and that's when we're going to have our coldest conditions. We'll probably see actual air temperatures may actually drop as low as 10 degrees for some areas to the north. Well, let's walk you through the temperatures. And first off, you can see the cloud cover starts to thin out some tomorrow. We'll still have some clouds around early in the day. And don't be surprised if you see maybe a random snow flurry with these low clouds around. As the day goes on, though, by midday, notice we break into some sunshine. Now, that's going to help us out, certainly with the comfort levels, but with that north wind, hold on to that jacket throughout the afternoon. You'll need it. Model data suggesting, though, around Centerville and perhaps Marion, Greensboro, some of these areas to the south here, maybe even Talladega and Rockford, you can see that temperature may briefly go above freezing. Not for long, though. It's back down below freezing tomorrow night. Let's take it into Friday morning, and you can see lows down into the teens. Now, as we move ahead into the weekend, we have mostly dry conditions, maybe a couple of showers late on Sunday, but the next big chance for rain that we'll see will happen next week around the 26th and 27th, and you can see the models bringing in a chance for some wet weather with another cold front, and we're going to have a chance to warm up before that rain gets here. In fact, we'll probably see temperatures topping out in the low 70s for Wednesday of next week, so that weather keeps on changing, and with it warming up right now, the risk for storms appears to be very low. It looks mostly like a rainmaker, but check in for updates as we fine-tune that long-range forecast that those temperatures will make quite a recovery. But notice Friday highlighted. We have continued that first alert weather day into Friday morning for average lows around 17. And then again next week, that warm up on the way and watching for that chance of rain. But as we go to meteorologist Tania Michelle, one thing we want to talk about is a long range forecast. Tania, I mentioned earlier, when you look way out there towards the month of March, there's a chance that we could see another surge of colder air.
Oh yeah, Wes. And this is the one thing that I'm like, will it ever warm up?
And listen, I said it a few moments ago. I was trying to count. 6 times we've had, you know, in some cases there's been snow flurries, not necessarily measurable snow,
correct,
but we've had snow 6 times this season.
Man,
yeah.
And it's like, can it increase from this point on?
Yeah,
will
can we see a March surprise?
I don't know. I'm hoping not. Maybe the surprise will be some warm weather. That's what we're hoping for, right? Well, let's talk about this beyond the 7-day forecast. We're going to start off with looking at our temperature outlook. February 27th to March 5th, not a lot of hope, okay? We were showing near average temperatures yesterday, but now as you look across the east and the southeast, specifically here across central Alabama, more below average conditions will likely be possible. As we bring in our precipitation outlook, we're tracking above average rainfall, maybe snowfall. Whatever kind of precipitation is, I'm hoping it is warmer. So let's talk about those next rain chances and let's walk through it. This is February the 27th. Looks like we can see our next system coming in close to the end of the month, and we bring the end of the month with dry conditions. That's some good news, a break from the wet weather. And then we bring in early March, and it looks like another system could push in March 3rd or 4th. So we're watching that time frame. As of right now, it looks like rain, but some models have been going back and forth. There could be a system bringing us some more possible winter precipitation. So we have to keep our eye on it because we're still several days out. So will warmth return? This is the big question that all of us are asking. I wanted to walk you through some temperatures over the next several days. As we bring in the 28th, it looks like some cold air is going to linger around, maybe afternoon highs in the 40s and 50s. And then early March, another cold blast possibly, with temperatures in the 30s and areas north in the 20s. So the cold weather is still sticking around. I am seeing some hope though, with maybe some afternoon highs in the 50s and 60s as we bring in March 5th. So again, we're keeping our eyes on this forecast over the next several days, and we'll continue to monitor that forecast beyond the 7-day, Monday through Friday, right here on Weather Extra. But now we're headed back to space in this week's Degrees of Science, where meteorologist Brady Taylor has the chance to speak with a forecaster from the Space Weather Prediction Center about the science behind what causes the aurora borealis, which is also known as the Northern Lights.
What people really want to see that's on that bucket list is the Northern Lights, the aurora borealis. And that is something that's a great manifestation of energy that originated from the sun, that have traveled 93 million miles to Earth, and are now swarming around our outer atmosphere, getting into that level, and the interactions that happen between these particles coming from the sun, these energized particles, mainly in the form of electrons, and what happens with our outermost molecules in the atmosphere. Eventually, as those collisions settle down, light's emitted, and that's what we see as the aurora.
So what causes the different colors that we see in it?
It's really dependent upon the energized particles coming from the sun, how many, how strong the activity is, but what kind of molecules they're hitting and interacting with in our outer atmosphere, whether it's what kind of state of oxygen is it, what kind of state of nitrogen is it, what is it interacting with. So normally the aurora is this kind of green shimmering curtain of light. The more recent activity we've had this solar cycle, much of the world saw the aurora was that pink reddish color. And those are interactions that are happening much higher up in the atmosphere with different states of these molecules we talked about. Our eyes don't normally see that color very well because it's very dim and it's very high up in the atmosphere. But people are capturing that with their digital technology. So where we normally think people might not see the aurora, say down in Florida, down in Texas, some of them saw it that far south, but they were capturing it on their digital technologies, a lot of them, and they were picking up that vivid red, pink color.
So the sun goes through cycles and we're heading into kind of solar maximum. What kind of impact does that have on the amount of auroras and how far south they can end up coming down?
The sun operates on a cycle, roughly an 11-year cycle, where we go from a minimum of activity to a peak of activity back down to a minimum. So we are in solar maximum, and that means there's been a lot of activity. This cycle was much more active than anticipated by the experts trying to forecast what a solar cycle might look like. So I guess my point is, we've got all of 2025 yet in store for more chances of, G3 or higher levels of activity, meaning people are going to get the chance to see the aurora, and even into 2026.
And getting a look at some of those weather photos from earlier today. Amanda Anderson sending in this shot of snow in Bremen, making a little heart.
Hey, it happened, right?
And D. Giddy, snow in Marion County. We love to see it.
Classic D. Giddy with that video.
It was really coming down there in Marion County earlier today. RJ Jones sharing a lovely sunset view in Birmingham. We had a couple of sleet pellets reported all around Birmingham. I saw some reports of sleet earlier, but no snow.
And this is the warmth we all want.
Right, but anyways.
Kaylee sent the sunset picture in. This isn't down at our beach.
No.
This is in St. Petersburg.
Hey, I'll take a ride down there.
Me too.
Yeah, if we got to go all the way down to St. Petersburg, that's fine.
All right, hey, hard freeze tonight. Continuing through tomorrow, we'll have more on those falling temperatures tonight, first at 9. Nice job, y'all.